particular series belongs to your cash journal part or with something else. So moving to this particular screen now, there is another tab over here. You can see field define number range for intervals for cash journal documents. So we need to go to this execute. Once you execute, you need to put the company code over here. So the company code is 1200. You can go to this display option over here if there is any number range maintained. So as of now, there is no number range maintained for cash. Now going back, we can maintain the number range over here. So we need to go to this change interval, click on it, and now we can go to this plus interval or insert interval tab, click on this, and now we can add our own cash journal document number range. So suppose I take the serial number is 10, and now you can see over there is a small difference in this. When we used to create the document number range earlier with FBN1 transaction code, if you remember, there used to be a field of year as well in that. But over here there is no year because those document number range keep on changing with each fiscal year. But cash journal number range remains the same. It doesn't change with every year. It changes in case the range has been exhausted or has been completely used. So now I am having the number range over here, suppose is suppose I create the number range over here with the series 8, keeping in mind that 8 is something which we can easily relate with as cash journal. So I am putting it over here as 800000002 8999999. And once you have defined the range over here, you can go to insert. So click onto the insert button and it has been inserted, and you can now save it. So save it. Once it has been saved, that means the number range have been saved for cash journal part. So once this has been done, we'll move back to the path. Now once we have the path, now we'll be moving to the next configuration step, that is setup cash journal. Now moving to the next is setup cash journal over here. So these two steps are there which are optional, which is not needed. That's why we are not taking that over here. We'll move directly to the setup cash journal part. Click onto the cash journal, and you can see there are a number of different cash journal already maintained in the system. But these are for different company codes. We need to create for our own company code. So what I will be doing right now is, now over here you can see very clearly that there is a CJ number. That is CJ number. That means the cash journal number. Cash journal number, which can also be referred as the petty cashier number. Suppose in a company there are 5 petty cashiers, and you want all those 5 different petty cashiers accounts to be separate from each other. So how can you distinguish that? So for that we can create 5 different cash journal numbers for petty cashiers, and on the basis of this they will be able to easily do their transactions in their own particular CJ numbers or petty cashiers, and it will not create any problem, and anyone can have a separate report for them that what are the transactions being done by that particular petty cashier for the day or for the period as they wish to. So this is an option given because petty cash or a cash journal is something which is always used as a multiple in numbers with any organizations. So we will be configuring this for our particular part, and we'll see how this has been done. So what I will be doing now is, I will be taking any 1 or 2 of them and I will copy with that, and wherever I need the changes to be done I will be making the changes accordingly, so there will not be any problem. So I am just copying the first 2 from over here, and once I have copied, you can see that those 2 different lines have been copied over here. Now I can replace my requirements over here as per the need, and the first column over here is the company code. So what I will be doing is I will be replacing this 0005 with my own company code, that is 1200. The second thing I would be doing is the CJ number. So what I will be putting the CJ number as, what I shall take. So let's take one as 1210 and another as 1220. Assuming that these are two different branches or two different plants where there are two different petty cashiers and they are maintaining the petty cash with that particular branch, but these CJ numbers have been defined so that those petty cashiers will be able to book their transactions in the SAP system, and from anywhere in the from any corner we can have a look to those transactions, that what are those petty cashiers are doing and what is the transactions they are doing on a daily basis. So if there is any petty cashier head, he can go through all those transactions and can look for the status of that what is the closing and the opening balances. So I am taking two different petty cashier number, that is CJ number, which will work as a petty cashier 1 and petty cashier 2. Now over here you need to take your GL account. Which GL account? It represents the cash GL account. So we need to go to over here, search your cash GL account, and that will be assigned over here. Now in this you can see that this is our cash journal. The same cash journal will be taken up below over here because the cash account is same. Now over here you need to change your currency. My currency for my company code is US dollar. So I will be changing my currency to USD. Cash journal closed. Now this column, it does happens that a particular cashier was working with you and he had a separate CJ number with him, and he may left the company any point of time. So would you continuing the same CJ number with somebody else? You could do that, one of the option. The another option could be, if you don't want to continue with the same CJ number, you want to close that CJ number because that belongs to us, to another person who has left, and there may be certain disputes which may come up. That's why you want a separate CJ number, so you can close that particular CJ number for that particular petty cashier. So in case you close, you need to tick mark this. If you tick this, you will not be able to post any transactions in this particular CJ number which you have selected. So right now we will not be selecting any of them because we need both of them to be used, but in the future if any of them we want to close, we can close by coming back to this customization and we can tick this cash journal closed option, and that will be done. Moving next is, now these are different document types. These will be remain as usual as these are the standard document types will be used. AB is used for GL to GL transactions in both. KZ is used for vendor transactions, that is vendor payment. This both KZ will be used over here. You can see over here when you put the cursor over here, this is for vendor both, and this is for customer payments. So once you have done these, you can move again ahead, and now we can see that this is your cash payment group. That is not needed. These things are not needed in the system now, so no split line item for this, nothing is needed over here. If you want to name this cash journal, you can name it. For example, it may be becoming difficult for me to remember that 1210 is handled by which branch or by which particular person who is the petty cashier, so I can name that branch over here. So if you want, you can name that particular person over here or that branch over here. So I can name it as branch 1, and the same way if you want, you can even name the second one over here, so that it become easier for you to recognize the things and you will not get confused anywhere in the future. So the CJ name has been put up over here as branch 1 and branch 2. If you want to be very specific and you know the branch name, you can put the branch name over here. That will be more easier for you to handle it. And again, there are two tabs over here for person 1 and person 2. If you've seen, person 1 and person 2. So in case the CJ has been handled by two different people, maybe one could be a senior, one could be a junior, so even you can put the name over here for that branch, that the branch name is branch 1, but the person who are handling is 1 and 2, name can be put up over here. So this is what you can do over here in this particular part. So this is what the cash journal setup is all about. We need to set up the cash journal, that is the petty cashier account, whether it will be two accounts of petty cashier or n number of different account, as we have defined for over here, that we have only two, that is 1210 and 1220. 1210 is for branch 1 and 1220 is for branch 2. So this is what you are expected to do. And now we have copied this, so there will not be any option of save. This has been grayed out to save, so you need to click onto the enter on the keyboard. So once we enter on the keyboard, you can see the message comes to you, account 000002 posted with currency this. Okay, so this has been done. So now we can save this, and once we save it, our cash journal setup is complete. So you can see over here the data was saved, and these are the two different petty cash numbers we have created, that is the CJ number. So petty cash over here is represented by cash journal number, that is 1210 and 1220. Going back now, and now we can move to the next step of configuration. It is create, change, delete business transactions. So the transaction, again the path is there. We can go to the path. You can see over here very next is it, create, change, delete business transactions. Go to the execute option over here, execute. Once you execute, you will see that the number of different, so now over here we need to create the business transactions. Now as said already, there could be different business transactions, as you can see on the screen. These are the different business transactions defined by the, already defined over here by default standard SAP system. There could be cash transfer from bank, can transfer to bank, payment from customer, payment to vendor. There could be cash purchases for office material, there could be cash sales. There are different number of such transactions which can happen in any organization. So depending upon your list of business transactions, you can define your own different cash journal business transactions which the client thinks that will happen in the future. So now we'll be creating those transactions, because until you create those business transactions, you will not be able to do such business cash transactions for those particular business transactions. So what I will be doing is, now I will be creating those business transactions over here. So we can go to new entries, and now over here we need to take the company code in the first column 1200. Then we can move to the next is the business. Now let's move to, let's first put the cash journal business transactions. So 1200. So suppose the first is cash from bank, the another could be cash to bank, other could be cash sales, a very common transactions which does happen with any business. Next could be cash purchases. Now this cash purchases may include any kind of a purchases for day-to-day purpose, like any kind of a miscellaneous purchases, any kind of a stationaries purchase, and such can be taken in this. Then again cash from customer could be there. There could be cash paid to vendors could one of the transactions. So these are the some of those basic transactions, business transactions, which take place in the cash journal part. So these are what I would be taking over here. You need to put the company code over here. Now depending upon the kind of a business transactions, you need to select your business transaction type in the third column. So we'll go to this first. Now for creating the business transaction type, we can move over here and we can see now in this screen there are number of different business transactions keys are there, types. These are different types depending upon the business transactions you need to define, like payment to bank. So payment to bank and payment from bank depending upon the transactions. So this is cash from bank, this is cash to bank. The first one is referred to B over here. Cash from bank refers to the second one, that is C. In the same way, you can go to cash sales. Cash sales is basically a part of revenue for the organization. So revenue is over here as R. In the same way, cash purchases. Cash purchases is a part of normally expenses. Expenses will be booked in the E part. Same way, we can move to the cash customer postings now. So for customer, we need to take D, and for vendor, we need to take K. So moving to the next is, now we have defined the business transaction types. Now the next thing we need to do is over here transaction classification. So we don't have to do anything in this part in the classification, transaction classification. The next we move to GL account. Now in GL account we need to assign the general ledger account which will be involved in these business transactions. So cash journal GL account is already known in cash journal system. We don't need to take the cash journal GL account over here, but we need to take the other GL which will be applicable in these cases. So cash from bank, cash to bank. Now there could be multiple cash bank GLs which can be used. So how the system will identify, or how you will take over here, which GL will you assign it over here. Suppose in normal practical cases, a bank has number of different banks. So which bank I shall put up over here for cash transactions, cash from bank or cash to bank, I am not certain. So if I am not certain, in those cases I will not be assigning any GL account in these particular GL heads, because if I assign it, then in that case that particular transaction will go to that particular GL only, that is the ledger account. Else I can keep it as a blank, so that that particular blank GL will be used. Whichever GL will be assigned or will be given manually will be taken up over here. But moving to the next is cash sales. Now in case of cash sales, normally sales GL always remains 1. So in this case we can assign a GL over here. We can go to search the GL. What are the different GL available in the system for the company code 1200, and in this you can see that there is already a sales account assigned over here. So this is a GL which we can assign over here. We have selected that. In the same way, if there is any expenses GL which you know that which we can take over here, we can assign it. If you are not certain about those GLs, you can leave it blank as well, but in case you know, you can go and you can assign that. Now let's see the list of GL over here, and in this I am not certain. This purchase account may represent the material purchase. It may not be relating to the normal purchases for day to day, like printing, stationeries or other materials for day to day usages. So what I will be doing is I will not be assigning this GL over here as of now. So once you have assigned these GL over in this screen, now we can move to the next and we'll see what is there in it. There is nothing else. If you want to write any long text, you can write it over here as a business transactions. So that is what you can name it as. Once you have done this, now you can go to save option and you can save it, and your business transactions have been defined. You can see cash from bank, cash to bank, or cash sales, cash purchases, cash from purchase, cash paid to vendors. Now we can go to save option and we can save it. So once you save it, you can see that there is a GL account, or select the indicator change account. Okay. So if you don't select any GL over here, you need to select either of these two tabs. What we will be doing is, if we don't want any GL account to be assigned over here, and we want that during the transaction posting we can select the GL account for the alternative GL account, then we need to click onto this account modification. Account modification allows you to change your GL account over here. It will remain blank, and the next step over here, you can see this is the text code. So in case you want, while doing the transactions, you want different transactions or different text codes can be used for transactions, you can even select that over here. So in case of banking, this is not needed. We can move to the next. Even in case of bank to cash from to bank is not needed. In case of cash purchases, you may be needing text modification so as to have different text assignments allowed to you for this particular transaction. And now once you have done that, you can save this screen and all your customization has been done, because we don't need to select for D and K over here, because this is understood that it will be multiple customers and vendors from whom the business cash transactions can happen in a business. So this is what the configuration of business transactions been done in this screen. And at times it does happen that we want to stop some or any one of those business transactions out of these 6. So if you want to restrict any of those business transactions, you can go to this business transaction block. This particular field over here works for business transaction blocking. So once you take any of these, suppose I take this, so you will not be able to use this business transactions for posting cash transactions in the system. So this particular field works as a business transactions block, which block you from posting these to use that particular transaction, business transactions. So we'll be right now will not be taking it over here, we'll take it off. So this is how the customizations you need to do for your business transactions creation. So as been done, now we can go back to the path again, and now we can go to this last customization step or the configuration step over here, and you can see set up print parameter for cash journal. So this is the screen which comes up to you, and now in this particular case the program over here is print program. You always need to have this particular print program which will be used for you. But now what I will be doing is I will be using this copy. This is a standard cash journal print program which will be used for printing your cash journal transactions, and there is a report variant, that is cash DE, and there is a correspondence SAP 18 is assigned to it. So this is by default SAP system which you need to take over here, or even if you want you can take this variant off from over here as well. So these are the two important things, the program and the correspondence you always need to take so as to print your cash transactions which have happened in the SAP system. Enter on the screen, and now you can go and you can save this screen over here, and all your cash journal configurations have been done. So now onwards we will be able to do the postings in the cash journal. So moving to the PowerPoint presentation, these are the configuration steps which you have completed just now. All the configurations have been done. Now we'll be doing the unit testing. So moving to the unit testing part, the unit testing, as already said, cash journal is a single screen where all those transactions posting, change in the posting document, display of document or reverse of documents have been done. So the transaction code for this is FBCJ. We'll go to this FBCJ now, /O FBCJ, enter. So you can see over here new screen arrived over here when you clicked onto that. and over here the company code you need to put yours, and then you need to select your cash journal. So this is the cash journal which we have created earlier. We created two cash journal, 1210 and 1220. These two work as a two different petty cashiers, where all the petty transactions with two different people or two different branches can be recorded separately. So if you go for this, and we can see how many petty cashier or cash journals are there. You can see there are only two cash journal as created in the customization or the configuration steps earlier. So we'll first take up the first one and we'll see what it shows. Enter. So once you enter, it will show you the screen now. So you can see the screen. The screen is totally blank. The opening balance is 0. There is no total cash receipt, no check receipt, no cash payment. The closing balance is already blank. So why? Because till now we have not done any cash journal transactions. This is the configuration which just happened, and yet any cash transaction is to be done, has not taken place. So sorry. And the transactions which we can do is, one can be a cash payment, another could be a cash receipt, and another could be a cash check receipts. So these are those transactions which can take place in this screen, and you can see over here everything will be related to cash transactions will be done under this particular screen only. Now suppose we go for taking up a particular transaction, like let's have a cash purchases or cash sales. So let's first, we need some receipts over here, because without receipts you cannot make the payment. Until you got any receipt, the payment will not the system will not allow any cash payments, because negative cash payment from the system is not allowed. So first we'll move and we'll do certain cash receipt transactions. So moving to the cash receipt, and now I need to select the business transactions. So you can remember that earlier we just created 6 business transactions. Let's see what are they. Explore it. Enter. So you can see these are those 6 different business transactions which we just created couple of steps back. Now I need cash receipt. So for cash receipt, either of these transactions which can be taken up. It can be cash from bank, or it can be cash from customer, or it can be cash sales. So suppose I take cash sales over here, and the amount I need to put up over here is suppose 3,000 or dollars I have taken up. So once you have taken this, enter, it will automatically take your GL over here. Why? Because the GL is already assigned in that. In case of cash sales, in that customization we had assigned this GL over here. For rest we have not assigned. So in case you have assigned the GL already, the system will automatically take that GL for the credit posting, because debit posting will always be the cash GL. So this is what been done. So you can see the transaction has been, as of now, is over there, but it has not yet been posted. You can see this red option over here. This red button says that the entry has been recorded, but the entry has not been posted. The entry once will post will get the balance updated over here. So how will this be posted? We need to select this from over here. Select your transaction once it has been recorded. Then you need to go to this post option. So if I click onto the post, now the system will process it to post this particular cash transaction in case it doesn't have any error in it. So you can see that there is a message comes up, balancing filled, business area in the line item 001 not filled, means business area is still missing. So we need to move ahead from over here with the help of tab option, tab button on the keyboard, or we can move from over here to the right side, and you can see that somewhere you will find the business area tab over here. So you can see the business area is coming over here. You need to select your business area. So you can go to F4 key on the keyboard, and you can search your own business area. So my business area, if you remember, we defined in the initial part was 1210, 1220, 1230. So I will take 1210 because 1210 refers to my probably the first branch or first plant. So I've taken the business area 1210. Now again I can go to this particular field, and now it has not yet been posted because it has converted from red to yellow, because in red means the transaction is recorded, yellow means it has been saved but not posted. So to post it, we need to again go back and we need to click onto the post option. So once you will post over here, you will see the changes on this screen. So once it has been done, you can see now the transaction has moved to green. So once the transaction is moved to green, that means your particular transaction has been successfully posted in the system without any error. So this is it, and once this has been posted and moved to green, you can see over here your amount has been updated on the screen. So your total cash receipt now is $3,000, but your total opening balance is 0 because prior to this day there was no balance in this particular cash journal part, in this particular petty cash here, that is 1210. Now moving next is there is no check received, there is no payment, but the closing balance is 3,000. Now again you want to do any other transactions, you can move and you can do that. So you can move to this again and you can select again a receipt transaction. Suppose I take another receipt transaction, like suppose it could be cash from bank. So I am receiving from the bank. Suppose I receive $5,000. But now when you click onto the enter, you will see that this GL will not update over here. There is a reason behind it. As said, in cash sales we have already defined the GL in the configuration, but in bank case we have not defined that. You want to check back, you can go to this screen again and you can open your transactions again, and now you can see, click on the button. You can see over here for cash sales the GL is predefined, but for others the GL is not defined. So you need to select your GL from which bank cash is deposited or cash is withdrawn from which bank. So you need to go to over here to GL and you need to select the GL over here. So which GL will this take, you need to decide. So suppose I take this from the bank HSBC, and now I can put the amount I have already defined. The next thing which you define to do is you need to assign the business area. If you want to fill the text, it's optional, your wish. Cash withdrawn from bank. Now you can move ahead again with the tab button on this keyboard, and you can assign your business area again over here, because now this particular cash journal is your first cash journal 1210. So in 1210 I will be using business area 1210. Once this has been done, you can click onto the enter, and once you click onto the enter, the screen moves. Now you can see over here it is again a red mark, that is entry has been recorded, but it has not yet been saved. So to post this, you need to select this transaction. Mind it always work in this way. First the transaction will be recorded. To post that transaction so that the effect can be seen on this opening closing balance, you need to select that and you need to click onto the post option over here. So click onto the post, and once you post it, you can see that there was no error, so it directly moved from red to green, and this means that your balance have been updated, and now the balance is $8,000. How 8,000? 3,000 is cash sales and 5,000 is cash from bank. So this is how your cash receipt works. So this always works only when you have defined your business transactions, and you always need to define. In case any business transactions you have not defined as of now, and you come up later up in your mind, then you can go back again to the configuration steps and you can define your business area whichever is left. So you can always revisit the configuration steps as per the requirement and the changes you want. Now I want to see the document number for these transactions. How can I go for that? So to see the document number, you need to select that particular transaction. Suppose I selected cash from bank, and now I want to see the debit credit entry, the journal entry, and the document number. So how you can get this? The document number is already reflecting over here. If you can see, this is the internal document number. This is the document number which we defined at the time of creating the configuration steps, defining the number range for cash journal document. So this is that number which we defined, and system internally takes this cash journal number range, document number range. Now to see the accounting, you need to select this transaction, and then you need to go to follow on document. So once the transaction is selected, or that particular row is selected, you need to click onto the follow on document. And once you click onto the follow on document, this will show you the debit and credit transactions that took place. So you can see that the cash account is debited with 40 posting key, and the bank account is credited with 50 posting key. So this is your display document. Same way you can move and you can have a look for your cash sales also over here. So this is how your cash receipt transactions took place. Now let's move and make some cash payment as well. So in the cash payment, again you need to move to the transaction and you need to select the business transaction. So F4, enter. Now the different business transactions again is in your screen. It always takes both receipt as well as the payment. Now you have to decide for payment which transaction you need to take. So payment over here, I will be taking, suppose, cash purchases. So if I take cash purchases and I put up over here as $1,000, I also need to select the GL account because the GL account is not defined in the cash business transactions which we configured. So defining the GL, I need to again go to F4 to get the list of the GL account. And now over here I can select an expense GL. So what expense GL shall I take? As of now I have not created much of the expense GL. So suppose I take it as purchases account. You need to put the text for clarification. Suppose I put it over here as printing, and then we can move next ahead for business area. So you can find the business area over here. You can put your business area 1210, enter. Once you enter, you'll see this particular screen moves to red, entry recorded. So once you again select this particular entry and you click onto the post option, you will see your balance will reduce automatically over here, and you will see that it will update. Total cash payment will become 1000 and your closing balance will become 7000. So clicking onto the post, the red will move to green. Over here you can see the red has moved to green, and your cash payment has from 0 to raised to rupees to $1000, and your closing balance have gone to $7000. So this is how your cash journal works. In the same way, if you suppose have paid to your vendor, so you can again go to the business transactions, and suppose I pay to the vendor. So in that case, for vendor you need to select the vendor line transaction. Over here I have put up over here suppose $2000, and now for vendor you need to take care, because vendor is not a GL, vendor is a vendor. So for vendor, you need to go to the vendor field and you need to select a vendor to whom you want to make this payment. So you need to go to the vendor, then you need to select the vendor. Suppose I selected the vendor over here, and now once I have selected the vendor, now I can move and we can put the business area as well. 1220, sorry, 1020 will be used for the different petty cashier, that is the cash journal. So once I have done this, now once I will put on enter, you will see that this screen will become red. Enter. So you can see it has become red now, means the transaction is recorded. The vendor I have selected over here, and the vendor name system automatically updates over here. So I select this transaction now, and we go to this post option over here. Post. So once you post this transaction now, you will see that this has moved from red to green, and your payment has increased from $1,000 to $3,000. 1,000 for cash purchases, 2,000 for payment to vendor. So now your closing balance comes up to $5,000. So this is how your cash journal works. So the same way, all the petty cashiers have their own cash journals. They maintain their accounting, their different business transactions, petty cash transactions in the system, and real time they can come to know that what is their actual balance and what is the total cash receipt they had during the day, and what is the cash payment they did during the day, and what is the closing balance they should be having at that point of time. So this is how your cash journal works, and this is how it gives you a lot of transparency to the system, and anybody can check from anywhere that what is the cash balance is left in the screen in the system. So that is the balance which should be lying with the petty cashier at that point of time. So that is it. Now suppose I take the date. This is for today's date. Suppose I change the date 3 to the very next day, and once you will change the date and put enter, you will see that these all screen will go back and the closing balance will change to opening balance. So you can see over here, on the very next day it automatically make the closing to the opening balance, and for the next day, that is for 23rd, it will show you that there is no receipt payment as of now until those transactions take place. So this is how your petty cashier works, your cash journal works. Same way you can work for your second cash journal. So you can select your second cash journal over here. The company code is 1200 and the cash journal is 1220. Enter. You can see it's blank as of now. You can put today's date over here, or even if you want, you can have a previous date as well. Suppose I put it as 2020th as well. So as of now, there is no balance in the petty cashier 2, or you can see over here, this is petty cashier 2 over here. So in the 2 part also, you can again do certain transactions. First you need to have certain cash receipt transaction, and then only you can have any cash payment, because as of now in the system there is no cash payment, there is no balance of cash in the screen. So this is how you need to take care of this. Again, let's move to the transaction 1210 for a few more things to know. Now at time it happens that now as of now there is no screen. We need to move to the So now you can see the transactions over here in payment and in case of receipts. Now suppose any transactions have gone wrong. I have posted a wrong transactions. How would I be reversing that? You cannot reverse these transactions with FB08 which you used to reverse. So how these transactions can be reversed in those cases? What you need to do in those cases, you need to select this and then you need to go to delete row. Once you delete the row, it will get it reversed. So I am going to delete it. Once you delete, click onto the deletion mark over here. The system gives a message. This will be reversed. Do you want to reverse the entry? So if you want to reverse the entry, you need to click yes. And once you do yes, it will ask you for a reversal reason. So you need to select the reversal reason over here. Normally the reversal reasons could be first or second, so I could take it the first one. So you can try with 1 and 2 and all, what does it takes and what does it makes. Okay, and you can see that the entry will get reversed and your balance will again change. So it's in the process of reversing the document. As of now, you can see now that the document has been reversed. This document has been reversed to this. So you can see there is a text written reversal document number is also mentioned to you, that is 800222222. So this is how, and now from green it has moved to cross, that is entry reversed. And when you see this balance has updated over here as well, from 5,000 as a closing balance it moved to $6,000. So this is how your reversals can be done from this particular screen. So you can try all those things, and in case you want to take the print of this particular journal, you can select any of them, suppose, and you can go to this print cash journal. Okay, it will not work at this point of time because this is a part of a technical person who has to look to this for printing purposes. They need to configure the printer and all, and on the basis of that only this print can be executed. So I hope this is what is clear to you, what cash journal is all about, how you need to do the configurations, how the petty cash or the cash journals can be prepared, and multiple cash journal could be there, and their respective persons would be maintaining their particular petty cash or the cash journals in the system, and they can have a track of all the cash receipts, payments for the transactions they did. And even if you want, you can run for a day, you can, if you want, you can run for the whole week as well. Even you want, you can put the date range from and to, or if you want to see for the current period means the current month, so it will show you for the current month, that is November, the whole transactions for November period. So you click for this, it will even show you for that as well. So this is how your cash journal works. Prepare these, configure, prepare more cash journals, do transactions in more and more different cash journals, see how the system performs, how the transactions are done with each and every such things. So it's simple, you can carry it on. That's all for cash journal for the day. We'll come up for the next day with a new topic. Till then, have practicing,